Today, we're going to pull back the curtain on one of the most fundamental things that happens on the internet. And don't worry, this isn't about a bunch of complex code. It's actually about a quiet, kind of secret conversation that's happening millions of times a second, and it powers pretty much everything you do online. It's the whole reason a website can remember who you are. I mean, really think about it. How does it remember your username, your shopping cart, or that comment you just posted? Well, the wild thing is, by default, it doesn't. The basic language of the web, HTTP, is what's called a stateless protocol. All that means is every time you click a link, the server basically has no memory of ever seeing you before. So how do we solve this digital amnesia? Well, it all starts with a form, something just like this. When you type in your info and click that button, you're not just sending data into the void. You're actually kicking off that secret conversation with a powerful memory bank on the other side. So, our first big hurdle is solving this digital amnesia. For any website to do anything interesting, it needs a memory, a place it can reliably store information. Without that, the web's natural forgetfulness would make things like user profiles or even simple shopping carts totally impossible. And this quote right here, it really gets to the heart of it. If a website can't efficiently store and get data back, it's not much more than a digital brochure, right? That ability to remember is what turns a static page into a dynamic, interactive experience. So, what is this digital memory? Well, the best way to think about it is our solution a massive, perfectly organized library. This library is our database. It holds all the information, neatly cataloged and just waiting for us to access it. Okay, so in more technical terms, a database is just a collection of tables. You can think of them like super-powered spreadsheets that store information. For most web apps that need to handle complex relationships, like which user made which comments, they use something called a relational database. A really common one you'll hear about all the time is MySQL. Now, you can't just waltz into this great library and start pulling books off the shelf. It's a secure place. To get inside, you have to prove you have permission. And you do that by presenting 3 magic keys at the front door. So what are these 3 keys? Well, first is the address of the library, which is just the server where the database is. A lot of times you'll see this as localhost if it's on the same computer. Second is your user ID, a unique username that identifies you. And third is your secret PIN, a password that proves you are who you say you are. In the world of programming, presenting these 3 keys has a name. It's called making a connection. And it doesn't matter if you're using PHP or Perl or Java or anything else. The command might look a little different, but the core idea is universal. You always need to provide the address, the user ID, and the password. And you can see this right here. On the left, in a language called Perl, you see the 3 pieces: the data source, the username, and the password. Now look at the right. In PHP, it's the exact same idea: the server, the username, and the password. The specific words change, but those 3 magic keys are always there. Okay, so we've used our keys and we're inside the library. Now what? Well, we can't just shout our requests. The librarian, our database, is very, very particular. It only understands a special, very precise language. This special language is called SQL, which stands for Structured Query Language. I know it can look a little intimidating at first, but it's actually really logical. Instead of a kind of vague request in English, you give a very specific command. Select these columns from this table. See? It's just a more formal way of asking for exactly what you want. This formal request is called a query. So your application sends the query, the database figures it out, and then it sends back this neat little package with only the information you asked for, nothing more, nothing less. It's a surprisingly efficient conversation. So we've made our connection, we've asked our query, and we've gotten our data back. We're almost done. There's just one last thing to do, and it's really a matter of good digital etiquette. We need to say goodbye. And here's why that's so important. Think of it like an old telephone switchboard that only has a certain number of lines. Every connection you open takes up one of those lines. If you don't hang up or disconnect, you're just keeping that line busy. A really popular website could run out of available lines in no time, and then new users wouldn't be able to get through at all. So when you strip away all the technical stuff, that's really all this is. It's a conversation. You prove who you are with your 3 keys, you ask for what you need using a specific language, you get your answer, and then you politely hang up. So the next time you log into an app or save a file or just see your feed update, take a moment. Picture that quiet, invisible conversation happening in the background. The keys, the query, the response, all working together to make your digital world possible.